Robert Pattinson claims he smells like a crayon. He has also stated that he possesses unusually heavy saliva and that as a child, he watched a clown car explode into flames during a tragic trip to the circus. None of these things are true, which raises a bizarre question. Why does one of the most recognizable actors on Earth habitually lie to the press about his own life? Growing up in London, Pattinson was a spacey kid who originally dreamed of a career in music. That plan derailed when he was expelled from his prep school for stealing adult magazines and selling them to his classmates. He joined a local theater club a few years later, but he lacked any burning passion for the craft of acting. By his own admission, he only showed up because a lot of pretty girls went there. That complete lack of Hollywood ambition crashed directly into crippling stage fright. Heading into his audition for a teenage vampire romance, he was so paralyzed by nerves that his agent handed him a Valium. He nailed the reading in a hazy, detached daze. That pharmaceutical assist won him the role of Edward Cullen. An anxious, directionless theater kid was suddenly thrust into a level of global hysteria he had zero tools to process. The Twilight franchise shattered box office records, transforming Pattinson into an inescapable fixture of pop culture overnight. But the reality of that fame was a private nightmare. He was battling severe body dysmorphia and imposter syndrome, all while navigating a relentless gauntlet of screaming fans and aggressive photographers tracking his every move. The media machinery demanded he play a specific role off-screen, too, the polished, brooding, empty-headed teen idol. He responded by hijacking the narrative with absurdity. He told reporters he didn't wash his hair, that he had a rap persona named Big Tub, and that he once bored a stalker away by taking her to dinner and complaining about his life. These surreal stories gave journalists something to write about that didn't involve his dating life or personal scandals. By offering up a bizarre caricature, he effectively diverted the media's focus and ended their access to his actual reality. With his personal life safely obscured behind a wall of manufactured chaos, Pattinson set to work systematically destroying his on-screen idol status. He abandoned massive studio franchises entirely, seeking out fiercely independent filmmakers like David Cronenberg to strip away his marketability. He cold-called experimental directors, tracking down Josh and Benny Safdie just to beg for a part in whatever bizarre project they were dreaming up next. The resulting roles were aggressively unglamorous. He played a panicked, sweaty bank robber in Good Time and a feral wickie reeking of kerosene and madness in The Lighthouse. By seeking out the ugly and repulsive, he forced critics to stop looking at his jawline and reckon with his raw capability as an actor. Committing to these grueling characters exacted a heavy psychological toll. He realized early on that his intense stage fright wasn't something he could meditate away. Instead, he built a feedback loop, taking overwhelming panic and funneling it into the physical engine of his performance. To hit the frantic registers these movies required, he isolated himself, licked mud off the floor, and induced vomiting before cameras rolled. The detached, laughing trickster we see on late-night talk shows is a complete 180 from the sheer internal terror he experiences on a film set. Leaning into his deepest insecurities and imposter syndrome resulted in jagged, unpredictable performances that won over the same critics who once dismissed him. After a decade wandering through the art house wilderness and scrubbing away his franchise baggage, Pattinson walked right back to the top of the Hollywood food chain. Only this time, signing on to play the Caped Crusader in The Batman, he brought his hard-won indie eccentricities into the blockbuster tent. Pattinson's Bruce Wayne is an obsessive, sweaty insomniac, a recluse who looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. He maintained that exact trajectory, leveraging massive budgets to work with visionaries like Bong Joon-ho on sprawling, bizarre sci-fi projects like Mickey 17. He carried his eccentric brand of cinema into the Hollywood blockbuster, forcing $200 million productions to accommodate his specific, off-kilter sensibilities. So what exactly does a career built on a foundation of pathological lies and mud-eating teach us about surviving the modern spotlight? His career trajectory shows a systematic effort to sabotage his own public image, destroying a manufactured version of himself to preserve his privacy. Every time the public tried to stuff him into a neat, easily digestible category, he weaponized his anxiety and his quirks to break out of it. In an industry obsessed with curated authenticity and sanitized perfection, Robert Pattinson uses absurdity to keep us at arm's length. And ironically, that makes him the most honest superstar we have.